Hey guys, welcome back to Be Blessed Studios. I'm Alicia and this is episode 10 of Heaven's Warriors. Today we're talking about Daniel, a man who lived in a world that didn't always honor God. He was surrounded by pressure. He was given opportunities to compromise, and eventually his faith put his life in danger. But Daniel refused to stop praying, because when everyone around you is telling you to fit in, sometimes faith means standing alone. So I'm just going to be reading a short summary about Daniel. So it says here, Daniel was taken from Jerusalem to Babylon when he was young. Despite living in a foreign country surrounded by different beliefs and customs, Daniel remained faithful to God. He was given wisdom and eventually became an important leader in Babylon and later under the Medes and Persians. Daniel's enemies tried to find a reason to accuse him, but they couldn't find anything wrong with his character. So they convinced King Darius to make a law saying that nobody could pray to anyone except the king. Daniel knew the law could cost him his life, but he continued praying to God 3 times a day, just as he always had. Daniel was thrown into a den of lions, but God protected him. His story isn't just about surviving the lions. It's about staying faithful before the lions even came. So I just have 5 key points here. So our first key point, don't compromise your faith. Daniel could have stopped praying just a few days to save himself, but he chose to remain faithful. And I feel like in our day-to-day lives, we always will be hit from Satan with these attacks, him trying to get us to compromise on our faith. But we need to remember that faith is stronger than anything. And this is why Satan comes in, he attacks our faith out of everything else. Because without faith, you can't believe in God. God needs your faith. He can't work in your life if you don't have that faith and trust in God. So no matter what, you can't compromise your faith. No matter who's bullying you because of your faith, no matter what people are saying because of your faith, you cannot compromise because of people's opinions. And Daniel didn't even do it, and he was going to be facing death. The same thing happened with Esther. The same thing happened with Moses. They were all faced with death, but they still decided not to compromise on their faith. Every single one of them had that opportunity too, but they didn't, and they were ready to stare death straight in the face. Our second point, your character matters. Daniel's enemies couldn't find anything against his character because he was trustworthy and he was faithful. So if we have that godly character, the one we talk about in Galatians 5:22 and 23, I'll put it here on the screen, all of those character traits are so important for us to have. Those are the same character traits that Jesus had when he was here on earth. So that means if Jesus had those character traits when he was here on earth, that means that we also have to have those character traits. And as you can see, because Daniel didn't have anything wrong in his character, he didn't do anything bad, he didn't have anything that they could hold against him, they couldn't use his character against him. And we see so many times, especially for Christians, if you have something wrong in your character, people will use that against you and they will try and bring you down because of that. But the important thing for us to know is, even though we don't have perfect characters right now, if we get closer to God, God will start changing our characters, and we won't even have to think about it. We won't even have to think, oh, I have to be more kind, I have to be more caring. It'll just come naturally to us like it was for Daniel. Our third point, your relationship with God should be consistent. Daniel didn't start suddenly praying when things got difficult. Prayer was already part of his everyday life. And for a lot of us, even myself, I'm very guilty of that. When life is easy, when life is good, you feel like you don't need to pray to God. But there is a verse in the Bible, I'll put it on the screen, where it says, in the good and in the bad, we're supposed to go to God and we're supposed to pray to him. If you're having a bad day, you can pray to God about your bad day. If you're having the most amazing day of your life, you can go and pray to God and say, God, today was just the best day of my life. So many good things happened today. God's willing to listen to all of it. He's willing to listen to our bad and our good. But the problem is us. We're the problem, because we think when we good, is a very human character that we have, that when we think that life's going good and we don't need God, that's our mindset. But this is why also God brings trials, because without trials, and life's just going easy and you're following God, you think you're following God, but you're not doing the daily things you need to do in your life to follow God. But you think that you are because life's going good, then you start to drift away from God. And before you know it, you're so far away from God and you don't even know who He is anymore. This is why it's so important for those trials to come. And yeah, we all hate those trials. We hate them so much, but they're such an important part. Without that, we can't strengthen our faith. We don't have the ability to test that trust we have in God. Our fourth point, standing alone doesn't mean you're abandoned. Daniel may have been alone in the lion's den, but God was with him. You know, this is such a reoccurring thing that's been coming into my life. Even if it seems that you're on your own physically, spiritually, God is there always with us. Like I said in the previous point, He's with us through the good and the bad. He's ready to hear all about our day. And he really wants to know us. And that's why even if you're on your own and you think, oh, I have no friends, I can't speak to anyone, I'm an introvert, God is always there and He's going to be your friend. You don't even have to have a certain social skill to talk to God. You just need to know how to pray to Him. And He even helps us with that. In the Bible, He gives us so many ways which we can pray to Him. Our last point, God can give you courage under pressure. Daniel didn't know how things would end, but he decided to trust God. Every single warrior that I've read about so far, every single one of them didn't know what the outcome was going to be, and they still decided to trust God anyway. And you know, for our lives, there's so many smaller things where we think we can't trust God, but these heroes, these Bible characters, they trusted God even if it meant they were going to face death. And I still don't think I can comprehend that. It's you facing death head on and you still deciding to trust God anyway. You're still deciding that even though you don't know what's going to happen next, you're going to take God's side anyway. And that is it's such a hard thing to do, especially when you feel like everyone is against you. But that's when you also have to remember that God is always there with you. Even if it seems like no one is with you, even if it seems that no one has the same faith as you, God is there with you. I just have a few interesting facts about Daniel. So our first interesting fact, Daniel served under multiple kings and empires. He remained faithful even as political leadership changed around him. Our second interesting fact, Daniel's name means God is my judge. And our last interesting fact, Daniel received incredible visions and prophecies. The second half of the book contains visions about kingdoms, future events, and God's ultimate victory. I just have a closing quote for us, and it says, Daniel didn't know that God would close the lion's mouth. He simply knew that God was worth trusting. And maybe that's the lesson for us. You don't have to know how the story will end. You just have to know who you're trusting. So when you're pressured to fit in, when you're afraid, when standing for your faith feels lonely, be like Daniel. Keep praying, keep trusting, keep standing. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Click here to see previous episode of Heaven's Warriors. Bye!